Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So, yeah, I'm saying afternoon. I did do a morning recording, but I thought it was awful. Like, okay, I'm going to redo it. And then, like, a whammy hit me. What was definitely a weather migraine. So I took a little nap in the morning. You know those naps where you end up in dreams that just are a little too real and unsettling? Yeah, that's exactly where I was. So between my head hurting, my stomach hurting, the weather, and that, it was an interesting morning. I actually jumped awake in my dream with this thought that, oh my God, I didn't call Grandma on Mother's Day yesterday. And it took me a moment to realize, wait, no, Grandma's not here. So that was just extremely unsettling. And then I started hearing rain, because when I fell asleep, it was just a really dense fog. And I'm like, that's rain. That's like really rain. That's a lot of rain. And so I jumped up out of the couch, scared Clara, ran out to the front door, and luckily the boxes are fine, because I did put boxes out this morning. It's the first run of the new, where are they? Fragile stickers. I put 6 on each box. Just so it's a little obvious. So yeah. And actually the post person came later. I think she's a sub. I've never seen her before. And because I had run over to get my groceries, there's a whole story there. So I came back and I was unloading the groceries, and she was just at that time stopping to pick them up, and she commented about how surprised she was that they were so light. And I'm like, they're bonnets, so I got to explain. And I was able to say thank you, because really it's a lifesaver having her pick them up. But yeah, she hadn't picked these up before. So yeah, I think she's a sub. The other guy is like really young. He zips about really fast. So yeah, so went over, picked up groceries. I put the order in last night, and I was thinking, okay, if I start on Sunday night, maybe by Wednesday I'll have one in. And I hit the button and I went, whoa, I had all these days to pick from and like lots of time slots. I'm like, okay, the noon time slot. I figured a couple things. One, it's time for the post person to pick things up. 2, if it gets bumped later in the day, not a big deal. So like 10 o'clock-ish, that whole sleeping thing. Apparently my phone started going off that she was shopping. I missed several texts. Yeah. It's by far the most complete order yet. It was entertaining. I'm over there, I'm pointing it at an oddity, because I have a ramen cup of soup. I have to double check, because yes, I've been eating some ramen. You can get kind of creative with ramen. But the non-fried ramen is a lot more expensive. And it's got a lot less fat. And it's not that cup of ramen. So I gotta check the order. I'm not in any way upset. I'm just utterly amused at this thing. Which brings me to the next. Oh wait, no, I'm forgetting it in between there. So in my disarray and my notes that, okay, your order's ready, come get it, I grab my wallet, grab my purse, check my tablet, head out the door. I get all the way over to Geneseo and I go, I don't have my phone. Now, normally with grocery shopping, that's not that big of a deal. But when you're doing curbside pickup and you have to hit the buttons, you kind of need to have your phone. And then I drive all the way back drive all the way back over. Get my food and get my very first curbside pickup of my chili rellenos, because my pre-isolation order actually lasted, what was it, 6 weeks into isolation. Yes, you can freeze chili rellenos, and they're not that awful. Pick up my orders, head on back. Was surprised to see how many cars are in Geneseo, even in the village. Decided to go that way. Zipping along, 55-ish miles an hour. And this little bike pulls out in front of me. And it's not like a motorcycle. It's more like a dirt bike. And there's an important difference there, because I'm on the road. And it's got this giant poof of smoke. And then I see something like just off to his right. And I'm assuming that's a camera. And he's popping wheelies. I'm going 55. And he's accelerating. So I'm estimating, reservedly, 60 miles an hour. Probably a little faster. Pop, pop, pop down the road. I'm like, okay. It's probably not good because, it's raining. Road's wet. No helmet. And then he does a zip around and he comes back the other way. Pop, pop, pop. I'm like, you're kidding me. So he's doing laps. 60 mile an hour laps, dirt bike, road, no helmet. I'm assuming taking videos. And I'm like, do I call? Do I not call? Luckily, I passed a sheriff, so that was not even an option. So Mr. Sheriff can deal with a wheelie popper. Honestly, I had just been saying to Mom that I expected, with folks being stuck at home and trying to find things to do, that we were going to have some water accidents. Every so many years, there's an accident in the Awatka. Kids or adults get swept away because it looks like a calmer creek. It's a river at that point up here. But it has a faster current than what you see on the top. And the Awatka heads into the Genesee. And there are a couple points where there's some old mills. So things can get dangerous. Kids have been swept away a lot of times on tubes. It's usually during the early spring part of things. That's not what I say. I want to say late spring, early summer. So like now, when water's higher and moving faster. So there's been kids and adults and tubes, some kayakers, and I know at least one of the kayakers didn't make it. Just things happen. So that's the kind of thing I expected to see. With the advantage of the colder weather, people aren't out doing that. If it was warmer, I think we would see more. Dirt bike potential accidents hadn't crossed my mind. And so hopefully the sheriff was able to say something to him and that'll get averted today. I totally get the temptation of going and doing crazy things. I just hope crazy things are kept safe. I think there's going to be a lot of newer hikers out there because New York really does have some gorgeous spaces to hike. Some of them legal, some of them not legal. So please check if you're going to do that. Make sure you have friends with you. Make sure you let people know where you're going if you're going to be going someplace crazy. This smiles because, I come from a family that does those crazy things and doesn't always take those precautions. And there's a reason why we end up in ambulances and Mercy Flight and stuff like that. I think I can safely say that because I don't think any of them are watching my videos. We are accident prone because we do silly things. All right, so moving back to the plan of Monday, Millinery Monday, I've got 2 pieces I'm working on. One's a simple taper crown hat in black. If the plumes ever get here. My plan is to decorate this one. So it'll get a ribbon to be determined. I haven't decided. I wanted to see what different ribbons look like with the plumes. And when I say plumes, I've got a batch of vintage ostrich plumes coming in their original box, actually. I thought they would be here last week. The delivery notice says they should be here today, but they're not yet. So we shall see. It looks like they're still stuck up in Rochester somewhere. I suspect it's that box part. I'm not sure how big the box is. I've discovered the odder the shape of the package, the longer it takes. And I would honestly rather have it take a little longer than get here all squished or something. All right. So then we have, this one's about halfway there. This is one of those soft crowns. I had just enough left to this hank, and I hope there's enough to finish it, to do a soft crown. And as I got going, I was like, yep, I want to be another Marie Stewart. I don't know what it is about that this year. Several of them have definitely put their foot down and said, I want to have this cute shape. So as this gets going, it's going to have a couple more rows to it. So it'll be a little deeper, and then it'll get finished a little further back down here, and then some more shape when I wire it. So those are today's projects. Definitely further behind because my morning wonkiness. I actually think I uploaded that video. It's gonna come down. And then the other project is Liberty here. So yesterday she got her dress. I do need to get her a little stand. I have several big stands, none of which are here. The bigger stands are meant for, I'm going to say, 15 to 20 inch dolls. More like the ones I had as a kid. I picked up a whole box of them, and then I stuck them in storage. I should have kept them out to give them to a friend of mine, because I know someone that could definitely use those, because that's more her doll size. So yeah, Liberty's going to need a little stand. She got her dress. There you go. It is definitely poofy. This cotton is very firm. It's meant to be a quilt backing, and I can totally see why. I have a chunk of it left, but I would be very tempted to do a blanket, a quilt with this backing, just because of how nice it is. It's dark colors, already picking up Clara fuzzies, but here's another huge plus. It's not sticking in the weave, which is a really great thing to me. This has already been pre-washed, so it's softened up a tiny bit, but it's still, like, things aren't sticking in the weave, which is really nice. Clara's fur loves to get in things. She's got that triple layer fur, more so obviously in the winter. She's definitely a several generation feral, and isn't gonna get rid of that. So, because she's been inside now for 5 years. She's got that crazy thick coat. Her undercoats actually felt up really well. You can needle felt those. But anyway, Liberty is going to get little stars. Here's her little stars. It turns out the smaller two are actually the size of the stars on her dress. Initially, I was thinking I would put them at the gathers, but that's not quite the right look. I might try something with the ribbon as a gather up instead. Maybe I'll look for another ribbon color too. See how that looks. Now, here's the fun part. At some point, someone, not the human, wandered off, I believe, with the red and white striped ribbon that had the little cockade started, because I wanted to put the cockade up here and then have it drape along like a sash, or turn it into a true sash with the cockade sitting down here. And then I was going to put stars in the middle. I have to find that. figure out where Little Miss put that. I did dig around underneath the table, which is full of Clara things, by the way. And I got yelled at, so I'm not sure where that's at. But yeah, that's on the to-do list, but I've got a little while. She will get her little collar. When I started making the bodice, it did have a little jewel neckline, but I decided I really wanted more of the 50s look. So I went with the little V, and it's a wider V neck, which means she can have a little bit wider collar too. To be determined how that's going to turn out. I do tend to make her necklines a little wider. It's because when I drape, I draw that line there, and then I always forget to add a seam allowance in there. Plus, it gets really tiny. So yes, her bodice is draped. I actually did the fabric right on her when I draped it. I did not do a toile beforehand, which is bad. Let's see if you can see in the back. Her belt's a little high. She does have little tucked back seams. Those are fake back seams. And it is a single piece back. I just faked those in there, which is kind of funny because you can barely see those with the dark fabric. I'm gonna see what else she's gonna get. I'd love to find her a tiny little brooch with a patriotic feel to it. I am trying to think about how I might do a headdress with these. If I do a gold wire, brass wire base, actually thinking a couple wires so it looks kind of braided, and then the stars attached to it. That's one of the thoughts. Otherwise, I could do a velvet base, which actually works really well with her head style. Or I could do a ribbon style. I'm pointing over here at Bonnie. Bonnie's headdress was done by Deanna. Those are sugar flowers. Nope, I've got that wrong. I'm going to have to ask her what those flowers are technically called. They're flowers like you would have on a cake, and they're set right on a ribbon. That might work with her as well. You just got to find the right ribbon. You're going to have a lot of ribbons, aren't you? We'll see what else she gets accessory-wise. But this turned out to be a fun little project. Alrighty. So that's a better video for the day. My various adventures. Head's feeling a little better now that I've had a little extra snooze. The rain has stopped mostly. Ate a little food, so hopefully the rest of the day will be functional. Got my straw right here for the soft crown, and we will see if the plumes come in. Tomorrow, we are going to do this little guy. All right, so he will be tomorrow's project. I'm thinking tomorrow and Wednesday. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday. Bye-bye.